Hey friends, it's time to wrap up January, and January reading wise was really good. Hopper's upset because I'm not sitting down somewhere and he can't be in my lap, so you may see him. This is kind of, I don't know, it's like 7 or 8 at night that I'm filming, and we usually are snuggling on the couch, and he's not happy with that, but I've had a little bit of energy, so we're gonna go through January, the second half of January reading, which was really good. I'll link below the first half of January. And I had read 3 books, and I was in the middle of several. So let's start with After We Were Stolen by Brooke Bafus. This is a book that I feel like was recommended in a Besties book retreat, maybe several years ago. And it is a mystery about a cult, and that's all I need to know. I bought it used pretty quickly. So we're following Avery is kind of the main character, and she is a daughter in a family of a lot of kids, and she's kind of seen as sort of like the black sheep, like she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing with her parents and siblings, and it's all kind of a prepper cult. And Avery is punished in different ways, and at some point she ends up kind of coming into favor with her father for reasons she's not sure about, and when you find out as the reader what the reason is, she knows she needs to get out of there. She is closest to her brother Cole, and in one night there is an incident. Something happens at their family compound, and Avery and Cole leave. They run away, and we kind of follow as they get used, or just kind of come into the real world, and kind of goes from there. Can't tell much because it is a thriller. I gave this 3 stars. I didn't love it like I hoped I would. I think part of it was the cult aspect wasn't really in the story for long, but I also, like, I liked following the story of Cole and Avery after they left the compound. There were parts of it that I felt like Avery's character could have been better developed, as a young girl that, well, she's a teenager, and she's kind of finds out things about her past that she didn't know, and what she can do with that information. I just felt like that part of it wasn't really fledged out well. So overall, I gave it a 3-star. I listened to the audiobook, and it was pretty good. I did enjoy the audiobook. I also, for my book of the month book, I did a buddy read with my friend Jane of The Future by Naomi Alderman. Naomi Alderman, I've never read her before. This was the first one, and I was super interested because I have her other book, The Power, on my physical TBR. This is about billionaires who get information early about natural disasters. and what they do with that information. Different schemes and things they buy, and data and AI and watching people, and it was confusing. It was very confusing. I remember the first probably at least half of the book, Jane and I left messages for each other that, okay, I'm at this point, I'm still confused. Okay, I'm at this point, I'm still confused. I don't think we actually got to a point where we could have thoughts about what was going on until almost the last, I don't know, 50, 75 pages, and it's a chunker. So there are different characters, and I actually, just gonna look at my notes. I listened to the audiobook, but I'm glad that I had the physical copy, because I had to find my place several times and see who they were talking about, because several names are sort of similar, or at least the way that the narrator pronounced them was similar, and I was confused. But I think it also because it jumped timelines a little bit. The ending part of this, I listened to twice, and then I also read it physically, because I wasn't even completely sure I understood what happened. So I do understand it. I think I do. And it basically is sort of an apocalyptic type story. And how people with money and people without their access to information gave me the creeps as well. I think I turned off a bunch of stuff, like Bluetooth stuff and iCloud stuff and all that, just because it kind of freaked me out a little bit, because some of it is very relatable to current day. That's all I'll say about that one. I gave it a 3-star, mainly because the story was so over my head and confusing. I did really like the writing, and I never actually felt like DNFing. So even though it was confusing, the writing and the characters kept me in it. I think 2 of my favorite characters, one is Martha and the other is Lejeune. And I really liked both of those characters, and they kind of kept me going in it. So if you have read this, let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. Jane was kind of the same point. I don't know what her final thoughts were. I can't remember if she sent them to me. I'll have to check in with her on that. But let me know if you've read this and what you thought about it. Then I read, for my In Real Life book club, I read Some Bright Nowhere by Ann Packer. I had previously tried to read Ann Packer's The Die from Clausen's Pier, and it might have been the wrong time for me. It was a couple years ago. It was on my first, like, 12 and, it was probably 12 and 24, the first year I had my booktube channel. And I couldn't get into it, and ended up DNFing it and getting rid of it. I thought Ann Packer was just not an author for me. This book, this is about a husband and wife who, the wife has had cancer for years, and it's come back and it's metastasized, and she is in hospice care at home. I think they call it palliative care. And it's about their relationship. It's about the husband as a caregiver, also as a spouse, which, you know, he becomes a caregiver kind of, I don't want to say defaulting, but I can't think of another better word, but kind of defaults into the caregiver role because he's the spouse. However, we also get a look kind of at their marriage. They've been married for a really long time. They have 2 adult children, and we see him as a father to the children. The daughter is married and has kids, if I'm remembering correctly, and the son is kind of trying to find his way. But they're both adults, and so we kind of hear a little bit about each parent's involvement in the child's life as they grew up and kind of where they're at now with their relationship with each parent. And then the wife has several very close female friends that kind of come to her and help her with kind of making death what she wants it to be. And as a former caregiver, I will say that this book got it. I just got it. And obviously my role as my mother's caregiver was different than a spousal relationship, but there's so many similarities in the caregiver role. And I loved this book. I loved how it showed the feelings and humanity of the husband, Elliot. We don't get, or not in my experience, vulnerable male characters like Elliot is in this book. And seeing his love for his wife and his children, just, yeah, it was something special. And I will say that this did bring up a lot of grief feelings for me, which, I mean, I was expecting that when I knew what it was. I actually did not attend the In Real Life Book Club meeting. I just didn't feel in a place where I wanted to talk about this book with people that I've only met once before. So I didn't end up going, but I'm very thankful that I read it. It is a 5-star. I highly recommend this book. Read the synopsis if you're dealing with grief. See where you're at. This might not be the right time for you to read this book, but it's really, really good. And I'm 3, almost 4 years out from losing my mom and from being a caregiver. So, I mean, it still impacted me pretty deeply. So 5 stars. It was awesome. I also read Alice Feeney's new release, My Husband's Wife. I vlogged my experience of reading this, so I will link that vlog below. I gave it 4 stars. Not my favorite Alice Feeney, but a good Alice Feeney for sure. And it's kind of about identity, mistaken identity, past catching up with you, all those kind of things. So if you're a fan of thrillers, if you've been a fan of Alice Feeney in the past, I definitely recommend this. And then I finished out the month reading The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. This was the book club pick for Krista at Books and Jams, her Patreon book club. I didn't think I was going to be able to attend the book club, but then because we all in the Southeast had snow and ice and horrible weather, everything got canceled. Anything got canceled. So I ended up reading this in 24 hours, maybe even less. I listened to the audiobook, and it's the story of Sybil, who is kind of a prolific letter writer. She's in her 70s when we meet her, and she's written letters her entire life, and she writes letters to her family, to authors, to just anyone, really. And it was interesting to see like the whole story of her kind of life and what happened in her life told through the letters, different letters that she wrote. I would say there's letters, emails, those type of things. And we get to see her relationship with her kids, her adult children, her ex-husband, her neighbor, a young boy who is like the son of a former student or former, I don't remember, a former intern, something like that. And I loved it. I did. The book club that I had, our discussion, it was all pretty positive. It is slow in parts, but the audiobook was done so well. Different voices for different characters. My favorite character was the young boy that she befriends. His name's Harry, and he's the son of this man that used to be sort of Sybil's intern when she was a judge's clerk. And yeah, it's just a genuine, beautiful friendship. I also really liked her sister-in-law, who she has a connection to besides that, besides marrying brothers. And yeah, just seeing the difference in her relationships, her personality, it's kind of like a wall she's put up, and things change for her as she goes through the period of time that we see the letters from. So I totally understand why this is a favorite book for so many people, and definitely 5 stars. You got to read it. So after finishing last year, not having a very good reading year, this reading year has been really good so far. And I'm going to keep on that. We're going to keep having a great reading year. 2 5 stars, a 4 star, and 2 3 stars. And so I did pre-order My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. And I did have to buy the 2 book club books. One I got off Pango, and this one I got from the bookstore that hosts the book club. But these two have been on my physical shelves for a really long time. So I'm really glad that I was able to get to those. For my book club or booktube challenges, after meets the buzzword readathon prompt. I think it was before or after. And the buzzword is by Books and Lala. The future met the prompt for Chantel Reads All Day's prompt to have an article in the title. And the correspondent met the prompt for Ben Reads Good, Read Good Challenge that had food on the cover. And I mean, some people eat birds, some people eat chickens, Cornish hens, birds. We have to go with it. So let me know in the comments below what you read in January. What was your favorite book? I hope y'all are doing well. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, and I will see you soon. Bye.